This video will guide you through the installation procedure for the SRAM Explore Access System. For a full list of tools and supplies, review the user manual at sram.com/service or find it linked in the video description below. SRAM Explore Access installation is unlike any system before, in which we prepare components off the bike using details of your bike, loosely hang the components in place, then tighten the components in a specific sequence. Installation is easier than ever, but totally new, so please complete the installation and setup in the order shown. Before we prepare any components, consult Access Web at www.sram.com or use the SRAM Access app to determine proper chain length. To install the Explore cassette and dub cranks, review the video linked in the upper right corner, or consult the user manual at sram.com/service for more information. Install a charged SRAM battery into the derailleur. Pairing allows each component to communicate when a shift command is transmitted. Begin the pairing session with the rear derailleur. Press and hold the access button on the rear derailleur until the green LED blinks slowly, then release. The components can be paired in any order. Press and hold the access button on each component until the LED blinks quickly, then release. Press and release the access button on the derailleur to end the pairing session, or wait 30 seconds for the session to time out. The green LED will stop blinking. Check that the pairing was successful by shifting the derailleur. Press the left shifter paddle to move the rear derailleur inboard to a larger cog. Press and hold the paddle for multiple shifts. Press the right shifter paddle to move the rear derailleur outboard to a smaller cog. Press and hold the paddle for multiple shifts. Use the SRAM Access app to personalize your system's shift logic. If the derailleur does not respond, repeat the pairing process. The pairing process does not need to be repeated when batteries are removed or replaced. Apply friction paste to the inner clamping surface when installing on carbon fiber handlebars. Failure to do so may lead to the clamp slipping, which may cause the rider to crash, resulting in injury or death. Install the shift brake lever onto the handlebar. With the bike level in the repair stand or on the ground, raise or lower the shifter on the handlebar until the bottom of the molded grooves or the middle of the alignment hash marks on the outboard side of the hood cover are aligned parallel to the ground. Alternatively, raise or lower the shifter on the handlebar until the top of the hood is at 7 degrees from level. Next, rotate the shifter so that the edge of the molded grooves on the top inboard side of the hood cover are aligned 90 degrees to the center line of the handlebar. These adjustments will set the shifter to the ideal starting point for ergonomic comfort and control. Adjust to your desired position as needed. Tighten the shifter clamp bolt. Repeat these steps to install the second shifter. Prior to installing bar tape, make sure the shifters do not move or rotate on the bars when force is applied. If any movement is detected, loosen the clamp bolt 2 full rotations and repeat the torque procedure. Failure to eliminate any movement may result in loss of control while riding, leading to injury or death. Consult the Road Access Hose Shortening and Bleed Guide for hose routing and measuring instructions. To determine the proper chain length size, measure the chainstay length. Measure the direct distance from the bottom bracket axis to the hub axis. Consult Access Web at www.sram.com or use the SRAM Access app to determine proper chain length. Count down on a new full-length flat-top chain to the number of chain lengths determined by the Full Mount Chain Length Guide, available on Access Web or Access app. Use an approved chain breaker tool to break the chain at the inner link. The Explore setup cog is the 21-tooth cog, Gear 6. Press the right shifter paddle to shift the derailleur into the fully outboard position. Alternatively, press and release the access button on the derailleur to move the derailleur outboard one position at a time until it is fully outboard. Shift the left-hand controller 7 times from full outboard position to shift the derailleur into position for the 21-tooth cog, or Gear 6. Alternatively, quickly double press the axis button on the derailleur 7 times to move the derailleur inboard until it is in the setup cog position. The Universal Derailleur Hanger, or UDH, must be removed from the frame before derailleur installation. Turn the UDH bolt clockwise to remove it from the hanger threads. Remove the UDH washer along with the UDH bolt. Rotate the UDH hanger backward to unseat the hanger from the pocket. Remove the UDH from the frame. Remove the mount bolt and bushing frame insert from the derailleur. Clean the frame to remove any grease or debris. Install the bushing frame insert from the outside with the black side facing outwards into the hangerless interface. Before proceeding, make sure the cage assembly is fully tightened onto the derailleur body. Rotate the knurled ring so that it is touching the knurled ring stop. Apply grease to the mount bolt threads and shaft. Hang the full mount derailleur with the full mount sliding over the hangerless interface and bushing frame insert. Install and tighten the mount bolt clockwise to snug. Loosen the mount bolt counterclockwise 1 full turn. Rotate the derailleur cage forward until the lock icon on the cage clears the cage mode button pin. Press the cage mode button to set the derailleur cage to open mode. The pulley cage is spring-loaded and will return from the cage open position rapidly. Keep fingers clear of pinch points. Apply grease to the through axle threads before axle installation. Install the through axle and wheel according to the manufacturer's instructions and tighten to snug. Loosen the through axle bolt counterclockwise 1 full turn. Stop. Verify the chain has been cut to the proper size and the derailleur is shifted into the setup cog. Place the properly sized chain on the setup cog, 21 tooth, and route through the derailleur pulleys with the flat edge of the chain facing away from the cassette. Make sure to route the chain below the tab in the cage. Pull each end of the chain together and install the power lock. Press the power lock connector links together. The arrow on the outer plate must point in the direction of chain travel before locking the power lock into place. Once locked, the power lock cannot be reused if removed. Rotate the derailleur cage forward to release the cage mode button from the fully extended position. Reposition the cage so the cage mode button locks at the derailleur cage with the gear icon on the cage visible. Press the cage mode button to set the derailleur cage to setup mode. The derailleur is spring-loaded and will return rapidly. Keep fingers clear of pinch points. Check that the 2 halves of the power lock are properly aligned. Use chain link pliers to lock the power lock. Alternatively, rotate the crank until the power lock is above the chainstay and confirm the 2 halves are still connected. Apply the rear brake and firmly push the crank arm down to lock the power lock. You should hear and feel the power lock click into place. Check the power lock by hand to make sure it moves freely. The power lock is designed for one-time use only. The power lock can only be removed with chain link pliers and must not be reused. Install a new power lock each time a new chain is installed. Reusing a power lock may result in a broken chain that could result in a crash. Before proceeding, verify the completion of all steps in the prepare and hang the component sections, and that the chain is properly engaged on the setup cog and chainring. The cage is locked in the setup position, and the power lock is closed. Pull back on the lower cage of the derailleur to remove slack from the chain. Continue to pull back while you rotate the crank forwards 2 rotations and confirm the chain stays on the setup cog. Tighten the mount bolt while continuing to pull back on the lower cage of the derailleur. Then release. If there is still slack in the chain after tightening the mount bolt, loosen the bolt and repeat the previous steps. Verify the knurled ring mark is aligned with the mark on the full mount of the derailleur. If it is not aligned, loosen the mount bolt. Rotate the knurled ring so that it is touching the knurled ring stop, and repeat the previous steps. Tighten the rear axle to torque according to the frame or axle manufacturer's instructions. Release the cage from the setup mode by rotating the cage forward then carefully letting it return to the unlocked position. This completes the system installation. There are no adjustment screws in this system. You must repeat the installation procedure if you change the chainring size. Failure to repeat installation when changing chainring size may result in poor shifting performance and may even damage your derailleur and/or bicycle frame. Rotate the crank slowly and press the left shifter paddle to shift the derailleur all the way inboard. Continue to rotate the cranks and press the right shifter paddle to shift the derailleur all the way outboard. The pulley may appear to be unaligned. They are intentionally offset to improve chain travel and direction to the chainring. Optimize derailleur shift performance and eliminate unwanted rasping sounds by fine-tuning the derailleur position with Micro-Adjust. Micro-Adjust affects position across all of the cogs. There is no independent adjustment for each cog. Press and hold the shifter axis button while pressing the shift paddle inward. The left shifter will adjust the derailleur 0.2 mm inboard and improve shifting to an inboard cog. The right shifter will adjust the derailleur 0.2 mm outboard and improve shifting to an outboard cog. The derailleur may not appear to move. Watch for the LED to blink to confirm the derailleur executed the command. Use the SRAM Axis app as an alternative method to perform Micro-Adjust when the bicycle setup does not include or allow access to the shifter buttons. After your SRAM Axis components are installed and set up on your bicycle, download the SRAM Axis app, available for free in the app stores. Use the app to create your account, add your components, and customize your SRAM Axis experience. This concludes the installation procedure for the SRAM Explore Axis system.